You have a question? Oh, yes, I have an answer. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. This is another episode of Ask James. Let's get to our email. All right. Hi James. Been watching for a while, and I wanted to pick your brain about an issue I've been going through for 18 plus years. Wow. I have an older sister, same father, different mothers, that I didn't grow up with. She is 3 years older than me. I met her once in my childhood when I was around 10 years old. After that, we didn't really have contact until I went to college near her. I reached out and we became really close. Over the years, she started changing. At least once a year, she would lash out, becoming demanding, and she would stop talking to me when I wouldn't budge. I would end up coming back and apologizing, although I didn't know what I was apologizing for. It was just to calm the waters so we could be cool again. As I got older, I stopped caring about her mood swings and lashing out. When she would act up, I would pack up and we'd stop talking. When she's angry, she's a vindictive person. She would throw the most intimate things that I've shared with her in my face. She would want me all to herself and become jealous of the relationships I have with my friends. But she can't maintain any female relationships. Picture that. She also had a tumultuous relationship with our dad, who lived with me for years up until his death. She hated that he didn't do the right thing for her growing up. I get it. You have to tell him how you feel about um, feeling abandoned. However, part of that hurt and anger would be directed at me when I was too young to do anything about it. That's the parents' fault. Needless to say, she didn't start warming up to him until the last 2 years of his life. She feels like my dad's whole side of the family never loved or cared about her. Or cared for her, sorry, cared for her. The last blow was really major. She has been on disability for over 5 years, and expects me to financially support her. Mind you, her mother lives with her and gets a check, and her husband works full time. That's three checks. Why would I support her lifestyle and I'm a single mother? I told her that when we go out or do anything social, she is the only one who doesn't offer to pitch in and expects to be chauffeured around without a care in the world. She blew up and haven't talked unless it was about our kids. James, I'm tired of showing her deference and trying to keep the relationship going when everything has to be her way and I'm expected to be her doormat. I don't need it. As long as she's an aunt to my son, I'm cool. Am I wrong to cut ties with my only sister if she refuses to treat me the way I want to be treated? I must admit, my stress level has gone way down. I used to get anxiety when it came to dealing with her. Anyway, thanks for listening. Please tell me what you think. I could actually imagine that you would get anxious dealing with her and even thinking about having to deal with her. I'm going to say this: she is your sister, your half sister. She's not your heartbeat. So that means that she's not really necessary. She is just what she is, just another person. And I've said this before. See, I don't get hung up on these titles: aunts, uncles, mothers, cousins, brothers, sister. I don't care nothing about all that. That's all nice if you act the part. If you don't act the part, then I'm not going to treat you the part. And and a lot of what's going on, she was jealous. There's a lot of jealousy, I think, that actually came in to play. No, it is not your fault. Whatever went on between her mother and your father, and what went on between her and your father, has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you at all. And you don't deserve to be mistreated by her. She seems to be very self centered. She's a little gone. It's a little gone. She got one of them people that think that the world owes her something. And no, you don't owe her anything. And you actually answered the question yourself. We said, I'm stress free without her. So why bother? Why bother? She doesn't act like a sister at all. Because a sister doesn't throw things in your face when y'all fall out. A friend doesn't throw things in your face when you fall out, but especially not your sister. And she basically is walking around harboring feelings about you. Who could be so bothered? Now I'm going to tell you a little story. I have a sister myself, which is a half sister. She's actually older than me by a few years. And I've never met her. We both live in Pittsburgh. Okay, we share a father. I actually met some of my first and second cousins a few years back. Here I was working at the time, and I had worked for years with my second cousin, and we were friends and had no idea that we were actually related. She's actually my father's niece. And she came to me one day and she says, she presented the information, and I'm like, okay, and we cross-reference everything. I'm like, yeah, I'm your cousin, this, that, thing, or the other. And she says, let's, meet up. So I ended up meeting all these other people in the family. And I found out about the, well, I knew I had the sister, but I hadn't met her. She was actually a part of the group that knew everything about me. My sister knows everything about me that there is to know. Everything about me that there is to know. And that's when I learned that my sister didn't want to meet me and didn't want to have anything to do with me because I was gay. Really? I said, well, isn't that too bad, bitch? Isn't that too bad? Now, do you think that I'm going to sit around and feel bad about that? Not at all. What do I care? Because there's somebody who shares some DNA that I have that is judging me and don't know me from a can of paint. But you know one thing, well, you know everything about me. You know everything that there is to know. But you don't know me personally. But you don't want to get to know me personally because of this one thing that you don't like. Now, why would I take that on? Do I look like I need more stress of that? I already have family members that I was cussing out on a daily basis about how they act that I grew up with. I didn't grow up with her. Baby, it's no love lost. I mean, seriously, should I feel bad? I didn't lose anything. You lost out on me. And I think I'm a good cat, Chatty. I think I'm a great friend to have. You lost out on me. You have she has two nephews that you don't know nothing about them. You never got to meet them or anything like that. And that the loss was truly all hers. It was all hers. I mean, it just, child, why should I feel bad? I have nothing to feel bad about. And she showed that I really didn't need to meet her, because anybody who is that shallow, that took all the time to literally do all that research to find out about me, to decide that because of who that I could potentially be sleeping with, that you don't want to deal with me. Honey, I didn't need anybody that shady or that loose and ridiculous in my life anyway. So no, I haven't lost anything. And this is what I'm telling you about your sister. You did spend some time with her, and you learned her. You learned her goods and you learned her bads. Her bads have outweighed her goods, so good riddance. Good riddance. Anybody got time for that? Ain't nobody got time for that. So I don't feel as though I lost anything. I don't feel as though you would be losing anything. It is what it is. You grew up your whole life. You made it to adulthood without her. So I think you can handle adulthood without her. Ain't no big deal. Child, why be stressed? Why? Why be stressed out? Who even cares? I ain't taking on no extra headaches that I don't need. Not at all. And it is what it is. Like I said, I know I got a sister out there, and what I did for her was wrote about her in my book and put her to rest, right along with the rest of everything else. When I wrote about my life and my memoirs, I wrote a little bit about her, and I tucked that away in that chapter, and that's it. And I don't even think I've ever even spoken of her again until today on this video. Who gives a shit? You don't need extra family members to bring extra trouble. Child, you all right. I hope this helps. That's what I have to offer. Thank you so much for writing in, and thank you for supporting me and watching me and all of that good stuff. And I will see you soon. Later. You have something you need to get off your chest or something you need some help with? I'll give it my best shot. Send me an email to spillitboy@gmail.com, and in the title line, you want to put Hey James to make sure that I actually see it. If you don't put Hey James in the subject line, I'm not going to see it. It's going to continue to be an issue. So send me an email and we'll talk about it later.